infatuated by that Sam Sulek, mate, what he's done. I'm never going to go down that route where I'm fucking trend out of my mind again. However, he's shown that there is a demand for long form, and there is a demand for like opening up your life a little bit to, if there's value in it.
Humans are creatures of habit. They don't really want to change, but you've got to have something in your mind that tells you, no, you fucking deserve better than this. Like the tweet about the carrot being dangled in front of you. You want money, you find a way to get it, and then you chase it and you keep chasing it and you keep spending it and you keep chasing it, and then you get a mortgage and then you have a kid and then you're still chasing that money. You never get to find what you actually want to do.
Because when you look back, the only thing that's going to really, really matter is how you've treated people and the people you've been of service to and helped. I used to enjoy the whole process, me getting ready, the boys coming round.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the thing that I do miss a little bit, a bit of camaraderie. And I was reading the other day regarding sort of a brotherhood, and I think mine's broken down a bit. But I'm surmising at my age now, it's hard to get that fucker back. What do you do? Everyone's got their own stuff going on.
Everyone's got kids as well, so it's tough to say to boys like, come round and, because who out of your mates and got a kid or like a wife or they've moved away. So yeah, I mean, I'm still partial to a get together, but if I were gonna have a get together now, it'd be to do some like either be totally sober or to like have some shrooms or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's an importance in camaraderie, and I think there's an importance of that. But I think over here we just sort of probably do get it a little bit wrong. It's working class towns, probably a little bit OTT of what we do. Our expectations of a blowout and why we do it, it's probably better options now.
It's more of an escape in it from what people.
I think some people just like blowouts though. I think some people like going to rock bottom and then just
reset,
get this going again.
Surely that's not the way though, is it?
It's not the way, and you shouldn't want to escape.
That was definitely your mentality for a little while, wasn't it? When you go out.
Oh yeah, obliteration. How far can we take this?
That's scary to me.
Yeah.
I saw Jacob and Brad last night, and they're usually out every weekend, and they're planning on moving to Dubai in September, which is crazy because I never thought they'd do it because they're like...
Are they officially doing it though, or they're just talking it up?
They are just talking it up at the moment, but I feel like this is something that will probably follow through on. They're still smoking weed and chilling on nights, but they're saving money. That's how they're looking at it, and I'm like, fair enough. If you're not going out on a weekend and you're sitting and playing games and smoking, like, fair play to you.
What do you mean playing games? Is that what they do, just play games then?
Yeah, they're playing...
Is this your connotation then? So like you've got a little bit of a vendetta against weed. Is your vendetta against weed is that you feel that if someone smokes it, they're not going to do anything?
No, I ain't got a vendetta against weed at all. It's just the combination of smoking weed, having a takeaway, and playing a game that's not bringing you any value every night. Yeah, that's what I'm against. Yeah, but also I've been in that situation before as well. When I used to go down to Jacobs, probably 2-3 years ago. Yeah,
so your grasp of it is that when you do that, it equals this.
My grasp of it is if you smoke weed, order a takeaway, play FIFA all night.
Yeah, but 99% of people, I'm going to guess, who smoke weed don't do that. There's going to be a lot of people who...
No, but I think a lot of people do.
Do you think?
I feel like... Yeah, I feel like they do. Don't get me wrong.
I think that's the environment, though, and this is the thing I was saying the other day, and I truly thought this to myself, that I'm not mega intellectual or smart. I'm not, like... When I'm creating this school thing now, the idea is not to speak from a position of sort of authority. I used to do this, even when in network marketing. You know, when I had no money, I felt that I had to sort of speak a certain way, do a certain thing. But I think the problem around here, even though you've got access to mentors through the internet, it's just I've lost that little bit of mentorship, me, because I thought I had my stuff together. Whereas when I've looked back in time, there were always a mentor who I could go to or could counsel with. I've sort of left that alone. I do have a lot of my male friends are older than me. So the people who are like I've spent my time with this week, they're all a lot further along than me, which I think is very, very important. But I think when your friendship group or your peer groups are similar to you, that's sort of what you're going to gauge your understanding if you're doing well or not off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
I think you've got to be really careful of your environment, and that comes down to also what you said last week of who you're also consuming via the internet. Because you could just be listening to the wrong people. He used to say that, didn't he? He used to say, you can be a copycat, just make sure you're copying the right cat. You could be on a sort of trajectory that's just not designed for you. And I think that's the hardest part for me at the minute, is to have alone time enough to decipher what I want, actually what I want, not money. I've got something that I want to talk about on the podcast today, just regarding like at the beginning you think it's money because that you haven't got any money, so you're blindsided almost to let me just take care of the money because that's what motivates working class people, blue collar people. You're like, let me get the money, and then when you get a little bit of money or you get some safe income, you're still going to be left with yourself, and that's the thing that I'm always quite harsh on myself with. Does that make sense?
It does. I wrote with my writing course, I wrote like a quote, and it was, I don't know if you saw it or not, the tweet about the carrot being dangled in front of you, and I like refer to the money as carrot. Like, you basically exactly what you just said. You want money, you find a way to get it, and then you chase it, and you keep chasing it, and you keep spending it, and you keep chasing it, and then you get a mortgage, and then you have a kid, and then you're still chasing that money. You never get to find what you actually want to do. You saying that you want to have some time alone there to figure out what you want to do, do you mean like, do you think that can be found in a couple of hours a night, or do you think you need days or weeks?
I just think that it's probably having time set aside in the calendar to go away with yourself and be okay with that, and away from the device. I think it's going to be big for me. I can't remember the last time I've done that. And I say to myself, go on holiday, and we'll say it, but you still revert into those same actions on a night where you might just be doing an hour of scrolling, and you're never fully disconnecting. So you're still taking content in, your subconscious mind's still taking it in, so you're never really alone with your own thoughts. And this is a thing I'm talking about at the minute. It's, you probably need mentors or guidance, but probably not as much as we do now. As we get into this personal development space, I'm watching what a lot of these people are doing, and I'm not saying they're not credible people or they've done stuff, but it's almost like, have they actually built any businesses, and have they got much life experience? Because you're getting these 25-year-old, even 20-year-old sort of life people and gurus. It's like interesting to see that they're just selling someone else on that same strategy, not build a business. Or like Cardone, I don't know if you listen to him, he's gone a bit presidential now, but like his old stuff, he used to be a big proponent on, I don't know what you think, it'd be interesting to get your perspective on it, that you don't necessarily have to like what you do, you just want to be excellent at it. Like his I don't know if you know his story. So he were a drug addict, came through sort of like, it came to a peak where he'd got in trouble with wrong people, and someone come and really filled him in and like threatened his life, and that sort of, he put himself into a treatment centre because I think he couldn't go a day without drugs, hard drugs. And then he just, the only job he could get, he had an accounting degree, the only job he could get was in sales. He sold cars. No one likes doing that, mate. I'm in motorhome sales, and like no one really truly like loves it. But it's commission, and people, and you can get good at it, and it's scalable, and you getting that skill set of sales, like what he was saying there, you don't have to like what you do all the time, especially in your professional career. What do you think to that? If it can bring you what you want, i.e. the finances, do you have to like it all the time? Is that just a soft mentality that now we believe? And it's an interesting point, this. Should I only do stuff that I want to do or like to do? Is that a weak mindset? It's an interesting point, that, isn't it?
I don't think that is it. I think if you are really wanting to live the good life, you have got to find something that you enjoy doing. Because let's say if selling motorhomes bought you $1,000 a day, you're making 30 grand a month. And because you're excellent at it, but you didn't like it, there will become a point somewhere down your lifetime where you'd think like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And you'd probably have enough money in bank and be like, I would rather go and do something that I like doing now for free because I've only got one life. If you actually zoomed out and be like, am I really doing this just because I'm excellent at it and it brings me money? I mean, that money's going to give you the time and freedom to go and do something that you like doing. So it's good that it's bringing you that much money. But I think, especially now, because of the stuff that I'm listening to, I just want to find something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then you'll get excellent at it anyway. And then it'll bring you the money. I think it's not a soft mindset. I think it's probably, for someone who struggles to find joy in most things anyway, for me, I've got to start finding joy in something that's going to earn me money, because for the last 5 years I haven't.
Do you think that has to be in the professional domain, though? Do you not think you can find happiness outside of that professional domain? Through hobbies, through people, through experiences, through whatever that might be?
Definitely, but you're still going back to that thing that you don't like.
Yeah, but what about if you're just excellent at it, though?
I mean...
because then I've gone back to like the old school personal development. I'm reading a lot at the minute and like taking in a lot of that. And as a man, right, a man's life is very different to a woman's life, I believe. There's professional women now, so you've got to be careful what you say, and there's all these other genders and all this sort of stuff. But for me, a man, when you really sit and think about it, it has to be of service to others is a man's role. And however that's best served is going to be completely different to everyone. But I think that's when I get the most joy, when, if you really think about it, it's when you're of service to others. And that's what I enjoy. And it's finding probably the best way to go about that in a scalable way, which is having some sort of impact. Because when you look back, the only thing that's going to really, really matter is how you've treated people and the people you've been of service to and helped. That's sort of what's going through my head at the minute.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I've always wanted to sort of build out that academy, just more for the fact that it's something that I wish I would have had access to, and not something that's an inflated price. So when I was getting started around here, I didn't really, if it weren't for a few books or a few audio books that people put me in front of, I wouldn't have had the fucking foggiest of where to start, of who to listen to. And then imagine someone like putting someone in someone's shoes who's not listened to personal development. This is what I want to get across on these sort of podcasts, is that it might be a bit weird to begin with. You know, if you're reading a book like Think and Grow Rich and it's discussing sort of like definites of purpose and deep subject matters that like people want, what do you mean I need a definite of purpose? It's like sometimes can go over people's head.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't have a mission, which I'm not saying I haven't got a mission now, I'm just trying to dissect this as we speak, then it's easy to fall into those comfort zones which we've talked about, because you're just like, well, taking care of the money thing. You get a bit soft then. You know, when Jamie said something in the pod and it like hit home, we were like, you get soft. And I think that's why people like yourself as well, I would ascertain, it's like, you don't do the fighting. You're good at fighting, so you're going to want to do it because it's like, I think you're very, very good at it. But is that a bit of to prove you're not getting soft, to prove that you can still, you know, fight another man on a certain day? These are all, I'm always inquisitive by these things, me.
You know what? Now you said that, it makes a bit of weird sense, because for the last 2 weeks I've not trained. I've done pads with Daryl. I've not been to AVT because I've been so busy with everything. But because like I haven't turned my life around, but I've gone from, like we spoke about on last week's podcast, being unhappy and not having a goal, to now I've got a goal which I'm happily working towards every single day. I'm not thinking about training or fighting at all. Whereas then, when I was like a bit in denial about what's going on in my life, I probably were trying to like,
yeah, fuck it, let's just get signed.
Let me get some sort of justification for something.
Yeah, makes sense.
So maybe. And then back to what you're saying about the enjoying work thing. If you were excellent at it but didn't enjoy it. I was listening to a guy this morning on a video on my walk, and he's like, and also the philosophy kind of stuff that you're saying about people finding the purpose. He's like, you've got to make yourself happy every day. You should be able to find the beauty and happiness in everything. He's like, some people might walk past dog shit and be like, oh, that's disgusting, but you've got to find beauty in that dog shit. And I'm like, well, that's a bit fucking extreme, but I get where he's coming from. So then for the rest of my walk, I was like looking at stuff, touching like weird, but touching like trees and like.
I thought you say touching the shit. It's like, it's like,
no,
like,
beautiful.
Yeah, that's too far. That.
Yeah. But I'm genuinely trying to find more happiness in stuff like that, and like look at everything as if it's beautiful, like anything, like a crisp packet, like how beautifully it's made and stuff, even if it's lit floating down. So if you start to work on yourself that way, then maybe you would enjoy what you're doing because you're excellent at it as well. There's probably a reverse way to do it.
It's very true that, like, to piggyback off what you said then, me and Ian Hartley, he probably won't listen to this. If he does, it is what it is. In sales, it's a very stressful environment. There's targets, there's stuff that you've got to hit to make the business work. It is what it is. Especially when you employ more and more people and the team gets bigger, there's need to keep growing and keep selling. But we had to have a pack yesterday that in the month of February there can't be any negativity, because the culture there, I'm not saying it's bad, it's intense. So with the directors of the business there, we've all made a pact for the month of February there can't be any negativity, and there's a big punishment aligned to that. You know what Ian's is, and he won't do this. So I'm surmising that the month of February he'll keep calm. He's got to do an ice bath.
I was just about to say ice bath, bro.
And I'm gonna bring it to the yard
in front of everyone.
In front of everyone, it's like a fucking
nice.
gladiatorial sort of execution. Like you fucked up. Mine's cash.
Is it? Yeah.
Mine's cash, so that'll make me not fuck up.
That's good though. If you get in the culture, it makes it's mad how important that is.
It's good because there, again, I love Ian to bits, but it's once you've done that for so long, he's been in that business for 30 years. Culturally, it can get a little bit weird, and you've got to remember. I'm a big believer in this, that when you employ people, you work for them, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And the old class, the old school people don't deem it like that. And people know that. And like, you've got to remember that these people have their own lives, that they'll work for you, but they won't work as hard as you. And I don't know where I'm really going with that, but it's an important business lesson for people who listen. I think people, how they treat their employees says a lot about themselves. And I found that because you can then be, you get infected by that culture. I'm a naturally nice person. I want to help people. If there's a salesperson there who wants to improve, then let's do it. But I don't know if it's a UK thing, that, or a northern thing, or just an old person's thing. I don't know.
It's definitely a northern thing as well, because when I go over to Emily's and if I go on a walk, everyone on that walk will look at you, no matter what you look like, will look at you, smile and say morning. I go for a walk around here, mate. I'm the person doing that now. I just used to put my head down and do it, and I'm like, fuck that, I want to be nice to people. So now even if they're not looking at me, I'll go morning and like get their attention.
Yeah.
In the workplace, I watch Stephen Bartlett and how he treats his employees and people he works with, and he's all for creating like a good work culture. And then he explains at one of his vlogs, he's like, if I create a place where people want to turn up every morning, they're going to want to put the effort in, they're going to want to better themselves and improve in the business and the life as well. So like when now you see people going to work, and I'm saying that it's a northern thing because I've worked for a scaffolding firm, which is obviously, there's no good work culture in a scaffolding firm anyway. And then even Avant Homes, which you'd think would be, because you're around directors and bigwigs coming out and shirt and tie people, and even they're just the same, mate. They just talk to you like shit. I watched one of my last couple of weeks on a site in Doncaster, and we had a labourer called Dan, who was a grafter. He was a bit of a little shit. He used to go out on rob and do all that sort of stuff on a weekend, and he'd sometimes get arrested. But I liked him because he'd work and he'd never rob off site. He was always the person locking everything up on site. Theo. And one of the bigwigs come on and told him to do something, and then he went to go do it, and the manager said, no, don't do that. So he didn't do it because it's his manager. Then he came back and this bigwig just shouted at him, called him a little cunt, and told him go and get his stuff. And I was like, what are you doing talking to him like that?
Yeah. That's because they've probably never done any personal development. And I think it's a power play, mate. I think it's definitely a power play. And it comes back to the point we've made there. It's service to others is what makes a good leader. And setting the example. And that's what I just sort of like want to do, not necessarily with you now, but with this as well. It's like, I can't just be fucking lazy. You've got to set the pace, got to set the standard. Being there early, just the basic things. It's not always like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's going back to the small details of what makes a person who's of service and truly of that. Like, they're the small things that matter, I think.
It makes a big difference. Just like even you getting that text saying I'm already here, like fucking hell, fair one. It got me fired up to come and, you know, sometimes if you'd have turned up, I know you turned up and I wasn't here this morning, but from now on it'll be like, I'm on with these times.
You set the standard. It's the standards, that, innit?
Yeah.
And it comes back down to that, what Jamie said on the podcast as well. There was a lot of value in that. I listened to it back in length, that it's standards for yourself, and when people can see your standards are high, they're going to try and emulate that. And that's what builds a good society. I think now standards have probably slipped a little bit, and people
so
see that
for everyone.
You know, you talk about dog shit, then it's like if someone just leaves dog shit, well, it says something about them.
You seem like you've perked up in your.
It's not that I've perked up. I'll just listen. All the way through my life, I've been in holes, but you're unaware that you're in a hole. I am anyway.
Yeah,
you're unaware that you're slipping deeper and deeper. I envision it like like an onion, like that you don't understand that you've slipped through the layers. I can snap out of it fairly quick though, and I think that's what life's about. I think we've mentioned this before, but Gary Vaynerchuk used to say, people who seem to get stuff done and move along in life, they're very, very good at pattern recognition. They're very, very good at that, and understanding when to break that pattern. Some people will never break that pattern the entirety of their life.
That's one of my main goals for the setting up the new website and new businesses, to help people do that.
Yeah, and that when you get the first client there who like whether they go through your course or whether they go through like a one-on-one and get access to you, and they get a result, there's no better feeling.
I've just had my first client sign up.
Have you?
Callum Lyon is from round here.
I know Callum. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen his stuff.
I think he's one of them guys. He's probably had a bit of popularity when he started doing them funny tweets, but he's just one of them people. I think he's a little bit troubled. And when he says he's got bad money problems, like he'll make money on OnlyFans, he'll get a bit excited, spend it on an hotel, and then just have nothing to show for it. And I think he went through a bit of shit. I'm not going to hang his dirty washing out, but he went through some madness a couple of weeks ago. And he keeps getting advice from me, and I keep giving him free advice. Like he'll say, "Oh, I've got a problem with this." And I'm like, "Well, do that." Now I've got the course coming out. I'm like, "Not being funny, mate." I didn't say it like this, but I was just like, I'm doing a coaching thing. So if you want like some life coaching, or if it's to do with OnlyFans or training, whatever, then I can provide you a service. But I ain't really got time to keep going back and forth with you. And he's like, I'll do it. So he's dropped money off.
I think that's what you need to do now. You, especially with what you're doing, you're packaging these courses up. No doubt, when I'm going to try and teach you outreach a bit better and lead generation. That's going to be massive for you. But then I think also important, what I want to see a little bit more from you and me, is putting free content out there. That's not necessarily packaged like your courses would be or getting access to you, but I think when people can see that you're putting out value for free, then it's easy to attach. Then, well, I want a little bit more structure for myself, and I want more. It's more access then.
Yeah, that's coming for me. For me, it's like I do want to start putting content out. I filmed my gym workout yesterday. I'm just deciding where to go with how to like put it out there. That's free content. I might do a voiceover talking on
George.
How to
Do you follow George Santos?
No.
I'm going to show you his work.
Is he from Manchester?
I think he's an American kid.
Oh, is he?
But interesting what he's doing on content-wise is like double down on Reels. So 60 seconds to work with. But what did he say? Like 18 months ago, I might butcher this, whenever it was, he stopped talking to camera. And he was smart with what he did, sort of with his text. And it was more him living his life, but like, what I've learnt with Reels, because I'm trying to understand short form, is that if you get into the reel, you will go through his shit. So he's seen a big increase from his business. He's doing similar to you, from just posting every day, but he's not talking to the camera. And it was an interesting. And when we talk about Danko, what got me into Danko originally wasn't him talking. Because I'm not gonna lie, I find it hard to listen to Danko a little bit.
Yeah.
But he was really good at visuals. So it's knowing his strength then. And Gary used to talk about this. You know, when you put he used to call it pillar content. You know what that means?
Yeah.
So you've got your pillar at the top, but you've got to be self-aware then of what you're good at. So like I get so many questions from businesses of how to sort of put out more content. You need to be aware firstly of where your strength is. If it's not talking to the camera, then it might have to be a written word. And if it's not written, it might be images. There's like so many. You could just use your voice now and put it over an image, and there's all sorts. But the thing that I'm struggling with, because I get probably 5-6 messages a week now, people want me to help with the business. I just don't really understand me at the minute, how I can put together a service where it's not taking up all my time. Mm-hmm. So I've got to try and figure out a way to package that, but that's another battle to sort of face when.
I'm in a similar predicament, and when you said then about the pillar content, Danko breaks it down as in like put out tweets, threads, and newsletters, lead them down into like your longer content, where because you don't want to be you do want to like say there's a call to action somewhere, but you want to funnel them down to something else. So let's say a lot of people are watching short form content now, 60 seconds, they're not going to be able to get that much value out of it. But then if you see that spark something, then you can make some longer content, or you can write a thread on it and stuff like that. I'm just struggling to figure out, like, first of all, the reason why I'm not posting much content is because I'm trying to figure it out before I dive straight into it. And this writing course is helping me do that. But it's like, how I'm going to figure it out for myself is, let's say if I come up with an idea or a topic to talk about, which the one I'm working on at the moment is how to not lose sight of your dream or your goal, because it happens to everybody. We can talk about it. And I'll stick with that now for a week or two, but I'll find offshoot tweets to pick out of it. I can write a newsletter out of it. I can make short form content out of it. Then once I finalized it all and got all the information into it that I need, I can film a Danko style long video, which there I can plug a product or a service or another call to action, get them to sign up to a course. But when I figure it out on how to use this one long piece of content to offshoot off, then that's all I'll focus on, and I'll film 3 shorts, do 5 tweets, write. You're
just trying to get that system down.
And once the system, because that's what I'm not getting. I'm trying to find 5 or 6. It might be a training one, it might be a mental health one, it could be, and then I'm like trying to just spin all them plates in 1 week and you don't do any of them. Whereas if you focus on one, you can make like 10 pieces of content out of it.
Yeah.
So going down the Ellis Lacey live pages, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not too fussed about the Ellis Lacey UK. That can just be a couple of lifestyle pictures or whatever. And then same with like my private Instagram and my Ellis Lacey UK Twitter. They're just going to be their own thing, putting money towards the OnlyFans, which I'm not, like you just said, then I'm good at it. That's what you just said.
It's hard to walk away from something you're good at.
Yeah, I'm good at it. I don't enjoy doing it, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be able to pay me wages until I figure all this rest of this stuff out. But going back to content for the business side of stuff, I'm going to probably next 4 weeks, give myself 4 weeks to get all that figured out. Then once it's figured out and I can actually write good content,
I'm extremely rusty.
Oh, yeah. As in talking or
all of it,
creativity wise.
Not wanting to pick the camera up as much. I used to always want to do that.
Well, you texted me yesterday saying that you're going to start doing the daily vlogs.
I've started vlogging today. Yeah.
Just stick with it, right? But then just let me know if you feel like your day gets a bit more like full of entropy, as in like just more disorganized. Because for me, when I was picking that camera up every day,
it's my default though. That it's like, you know, when we go back to like, you know, you say writing there, like that might that was never my default. My default was to pick the camera up. I was the person that when we were doing stuff, I'd pick the camera up, even when I didn't know what I was doing. I've picked that up for like ever since I can remember. I go back through my memories. It's always like old videos of just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Even when I didn't know, like I knew nothing about.
But did that get used though? The videos.
I always posted it. Yeah, I always posted it. All my clients have come from me posting on social media. Every single one. Every mentor I've had, every person I've met has come from posting online. This is why it's powerful. So find your domain. It's like with businesses out there. It's just start posting about your business. Don't try and create all the time. Just document what you're doing. And if it's boring what you're doing, then you've got to change that.
I just feel like now I've learned that I need to create content with intention. And when I was doing the vlogs, especially when I weren't planning the vlog or writing any content, if I were to get up in the morning and be like, oh, I better film my food. Oh, this is me making this.
I think it's all relative to what you like making. You know, when we go back to that Josh Gudgeon podcast, like the fucking thing that people keep forgetting is like, what do you like doing? You said that you should only do stuff that you like. Well, you should only make content that you really like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going down that other avenue, which is I'm only making it for money, or I'm only making it for X, Y, and Z. Like I've always liked picking the camera up. Like go back to why I like started podcast. I used to like just sitting and talking to my mates. That was the thing that I enjoyed doing. As you want to then set a standard and improving it, then you've got to look at sort of what you're putting out and all the other variables that come with it. But at the root of it, at the root of the tree, is do I like? Am I putting? It's art.
Yeah.
So I used to just like documenting. You know, it's like don't post your family. I'm like fuck that. It's what I like doing.
Yeah.
Like. You know, when I was younger, I remember finding old VHSs, you know, a family, mate, like that. I was like infatuated by it. I remember buying, my granddad used to take us to Tenerife every single year, and like part of the trip, sounds cheesy this, were he'd let you buy a piece of like, you know, like an electrical, like whether it be a Game Boy or whatever it might be at the time. And my cousins the same. All my family, all my cousins are in sort of either TV or sales or some sort of like something that's out there a bit. And I remember buying what they're called Talk Boys. Remember them?
Talk Boy. What do you
It
do
were
with it?
it were like a little audio recorder. And this were like when I was 10 years old. I mean, my cousin had just like we never put it out obviously because there were nowhere to put it out, but we'd film like fucking little radio shows and we'd play music and we'd just fucking make our own radio shows. Me and Harry. That's something I've done forever and a day, and I think you've got to be self-aware of that.
Yeah.
Because if picking that video camera not something you like doing, then are you going to probably want to get any better at it?
The thing is though, I do enjoy doing it.
Yeah. I think you've got to back yourself there. I think you've got such high standards for yourself. Yeah. You want it to be perfect before you post it every time.
It's not even I want it to be perfect. It's just that, I mean, I'm speaking from like 4 weeks ago, me, where I probably want in a great position compared to what I'm in right now, mentally. And the creativity wasn't there when it came to like picking the camera up and filming. I'm all for like documenting everything, but then what had happened is it'd build up in my camera album, and then I just wouldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And like now I've got a full vlogs worth of NC 500 on me.
Too much in chamber.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That causes me more anxiety though.
Exactly, bro. It's literal.
You should just create, post. Mm-hmm. Some will pop and some won't.
Yeah.
Like I'm infatuated by that Sam Sulik, mate. What he's done. I'm never going to go down that route where I'm fucking trending out of my mind again. However,
Again.
he's shown that there is a demand for long form, and there is a demand for like opening up your life a little bit to, if there's value in it. He's shown that there, and this is the thing where it goes back to like what you consume. And like there's people out there who are posting long form and are succeeding. And I think I got a little bit lost in this 60-second photo fucking bollocks, mate. That doesn't interest me in the slightest at all.
Yeah.
And that's probably what will get me in a little bit of a hole out. Like, what am I making here?
I mean,
Even if more people see it, that were more of a, what's the word there? Like an ego metric. Because you're just chasing views and you're not chasing any sort of value. Like, it made me accountable, did filming.
Yeah.
And that were a big thing for me to start with. And it's going back to like, what do you actually like to create? Because you'll do it forever then. It leans back into what we've just said at the beginning of the podcast there. It's like, you might be good at right now, but do you enjoy it? So there's probably a yin and a yang. Who knows what's right?
Yeah.
Who knows if we're not just fucking wasting this time? You'll never know. But if you're moving towards a worthy ideal and you feel you're putting content out that can A, help you, and B, help others, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think we saw that through the nice comments. There's been a few nice comments on his solo pod.
Yeah.
And that was just sort of just trying to figure out. It's going to get more and more complex. And if there's just a few golden nuggets that people can understand in it and implement in their own life, then we're all winning. And it refreshes our memory. That's what I think.
Yeah. And now we're going to be creating content, and I keep saying with intention, but like we go back to them 60-second shorts. We were making them, like you said, for ego metrics to get likes and viewers and subscribers, which is fine. We were trying to build a channel, and we still are. But there wasn't any value or any thought going into them. And them 60-second reels should be used as a tool to put out feelers to see what people like.
Yeah.
Some reels did great. Some reels got 20 views. So that's where you should go back and like see why they did great. And if you've got one that's like, let's say we had one that was talking to Danny Mitchell about medieval times, you know that's resonated with a couple of people, then we could talk about it more on the next podcast. And that's where this writing course comes in. It's like if you want to figure out this one piece that I've just told you about, the one about losing sight of your goal, if I can take 10 different shorts from that and put them out there, whichever one does best, I'll write more of in the long form one. And that's what you use, that short form as a tool.
Yeah,
then I won't mind doing it.
So you can mine deeper.
Yeah, because there's no point me, if I put a short out and it barely gets any views, but I've written a full long thing on it, well, who's to say that, well, it's not that if you can't get attention in 60 seconds talking about this topic, who's going to sit and watch it for 20 minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
So really you should be putting as many of them on that same sort of topic out, seeing which bits get more attention. If one of your reels gets nothing on it, be like, right, I'll take that out now. So you're putting it out intending to get some, like, you're getting metrics back to try and figure out if it's good or bad.
You're getting a signal, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it.
And that's
you're
what's
looking for a
important.
signal.
That's what's important.
So, I mean, little bits like that I'm learning with this course, mate, and that's I could start putting into practice now, but whilst I'm like building and learning, I'm trying not to go too far one way, which that's what I've got a tendency to do.
Yeah.
100%.
What else is happening, mate?
Not really too much. Obviously, I'm moving out Friday, so 2 days' time.
Oh, shit.
Moving out, my man. Looking forward to it, though.
Nice change.
Yeah.
I get like that 4 years in the same place where I've been now. You're like,
yeah.
Come on, what's next?
It's weird, bro. I've got a proper disconnect to that house now that I'm in. Like, I don't like even walking through the front door. Mainly because I've paid through eyeballs for the last 15 months, and then my ex is still going to get 50%.
God damn.
Equity, but we move. But yeah, man, moving. I'm looking forward to moving because these two lads, the Matty Russell and Lewis Tierney.
Watched Lewis Tierney play a bit of rugby yesterday.
Did you?
I've been doing that. I've been watching just half an hour, a bit of sport on a night. So
Who did he play for Saints?
Catalans.
Catalan.
That's where I watched him last night. Catalan versus Fev.
Nice. No, they're two good kids, and they live like 10, 15 minutes away from where I live, and obviously they're in the same industry as me. Very well motivated and driven, and they've got some big aspirations, so it'll be good to like spend a bit more time around them too. And just, mate, it sounds weird, but living in a place where nobody knows me, I'm like fucking excited.
You get a chance
for
to
that.
reinvent yourself and start again. I did that at university, but it ended badly.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure.
I'm Tommy Topper.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm not going out
Just
scrapping with bouncers and that.
Yeah, stay clear of that one.
Yeah, but apart from that, mate, just introducing new disciplines to my life as well. Like I learned a new one. You know, I've been going on morning walks, which started from the day I learned it from Danko. But I'd just do like a 15-minute lap just to like stretch my legs, get the blood flowing.
Just so I understand, let's dissect that. You must have known walking were good for you before someone's told you to go on a walk.
100% knew it was good for me,
So what made you just implement that then?
Because, well, I thought that when you're so busy and you've got so much work to do, I'm not going to waste 15 minutes walking when I can be working. But it's the worst thing you can do is like when you've got something to do on my laptop at home, the worst thing I can do is get up in the morning, come downstairs, have some breakfast and just start working. You need to you fucking boxing yourself into four walls.
Yeah, but some people like that though, you got to remember that.
Some people like it.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, mate. Some people get the deepest working in the morning.
Oh, no, I get my deepest working, but I like to go around, get my creativity and subconscious working first. Yeah. Then I get stuck in. Yeah. And I do get stuck in on the morning. That's where my deep work comes in. So I'll do that. I'll try and do about 2 or 3 hours of deep work, have a little break, have some food, do another walk, then do another couple of hours, then I'll train, and then the rest of my day is mine pretty much. Yeah. But it's not because I'll still I'll like do my content or the stuff I don't enjoy as much. Yeah. But yeah, just getting the new disciplines, sticking to the no caffeine, no nicotine, no alcohol. Bro, I'm telling you now,
man.
I feel good from having like no caffeine. There's no distractions. Coffee's because
how's fucking coffee a distraction, mate? It's a fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful ritual that was created for fucking worker bees like yourself, mate.
I just can't work.
You understand
bro.
You understand the history of coffee?
No.
It was implemented in the workforce to make them work longer without rest.
That's only because it masks tiredness, isn't it?
Well, you could say it's definitely gonna boost you with some fake energy, but it's a beautiful drug, mate. I'm a big fan of it. I'm not the same man if I don't have 2 or 3 coffees a day. The intent to work is not the same. That's just me. Whether that's a crutch, it could well be, but I didn't get into coffee till quite late. I didn't get into coffee till Organa. I weren't a coffee drinker. Never drank caffeine. Never been a tea drinker, anything like that. But when I started drinking that, obviously I were getting compensated for it, so there were a justification of why I should be drinking coffee. But I did fall in love with it. The best ritual in the morning. But I do have
a decaf.
No, it's not the same, bro.
No, but it's a ritual still. It's not giving me the buzz. No,
and you've got a ritual. If you're getting out, like I've seen your story this morning. What you've achieved in the morning is fantastic. So like that could be your ritual, is getting out in nature. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But if that's yours, isn't it? I ain't giving it up yet.
No, I'm not saying give it up, bro. I'm just like, I know from even how you talk about coffee, you get a different feeling than I do from it. I get that like intense, like off me nut, fucking can't think straight.
No,
I
don't know.
Yeah,
I think I've got a bit more of a scattered brain than you, so it just sort of locks me in. Yeah. That's what I tell myself anyway. I might just be fully addicted to the drug. It's a drug. Coffee's weird because it's a drug that is very strong and it's just acceptable to do it everywhere. You can get access to it everywhere.
Did you know cocaine's legal in Portugal?
Is it?
Legal.
A lot of drugs are legal in Portugal, so is weed. They've decriminalised a lot of drugs over there.
Weed's starting to become legal in most places now, and I think it will be in the next 3 to 5 years over here. But like the fact that cocaine, bro, it's like, where else do you know you can just sniff coke? Fine.
What of the only justification for that? Because I'm a big believer in legalizing drugs, man. I don't think anything, because you knock. I'm gonna get some drug dealers knocking on his door now, but you knock the back market out of the dealing of it. Mm-hmm. And if people are gonna take cocaine, people probably are always gonna take cocaine. But imagine if you knew what you were actually sniffing, and you could get it from a
quality dealer.
Quality. Like say these farmers here were sold drugs, but you knew what you were getting.
Pure. Probably get back on it.
Oh, yeah? Like, fuck this personal development stuff.
Fuck caffeine, but I'll get on coke if you want to get a... Nah, definitely won't be doing that. But it's just, I just thought it was great. Slim told me the other day, like, I might be fighting in Portugal. Not that he was saying he was going to get on it, but he went, do you know caffeine? I went, do you know coke's legal in Portugal? I went, is it? Fuck, bro. It's not legal anywhere. And then I looked at it, actually.
I think they've decriminalised most drugs there.
Yeah, heroin were on there as well.
You don't want to be going down that rabbit hole, like.
No, not anytime soon. What new disciplines have you introduced then this week since you've...
There's not...
You're back on the train.
Training needs to get there, but... For me, it's a mindset shift. The disciplines, I'm not... You know, the stuff you do, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but those should be almost non-negotiables in your life for most people.
Which ones?
Walking, journaling, basic stuff like that. But for me, it's figuring out the bigger picture. It's where do I want to be putting my energy and my time? And more specifically, who with. They're the conundrums that are going through my head at the minute, because I'm in a position in my life where a lot of people want access to me, and there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of projects, and a lot of things that I can put my energy into. It's just pausing and is it the correct path? I know I need to. Everyone can improve their health. The diet's got better. Still a bit of pizza last night. My problem is when the girls come round, mate. We did some massages last night. Not all of us. Like a massage lady came in to the house.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be good. And
Well, so you had 4 women in your house,
Yeah, we're all-
top off, getting rubbed down.
yeah,
then.
yeah, that's basically what happened yesterday.
Not a bad lifestyle.
It's a good question. What I need to implement. A very routine structure with training. And I've been toying with this bodybuilding comeback for a while, but I went to High Rocks and I'm like thinking, should I do that? And I'm like,
Listen,
maybe find a blend of all of it.
I'm going to get some hate here, but whenever I see people posting about IROX now, it's doing my fucking nothing.
It's a bit like
It's
bit like CrossFit used to be.
Yeah, but it's way more intense and in your face. And people are like talking. Listen, no offense to anyone who does IROX, I respect it. I like what Luke McCarthy's doing. There's some lads around here, Ben Cocaine, they're smashing it. But
Keith Brook, we'll give him a shout out.
yeah, Keith Brooks smashed it as well. But I see, like, I've got some of Emily's mates on there, and they all bang on about it. But I just think, fuck me, it's class.
Yeah.
I get it. I probably won't be able to do it myself, but post something else. Break it up a little bit. It's all I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm just like in and involved in it.
It is out there.
Yeah.
And it's weird that, when we had Resachi on,
Yeah.
that community are all involved with that, and they must be making fortune.
Which community?
So March On, have you heard of this? March On had, so you've got March On, you've got what's the hoodie you bought?
Represent.
I think that's a fraternity, mate.
Do you think?
I think it's a fraternity. I think it's a strong one. And I think they're very, very good at business. I think they're very smart at business and understanding how to build community very, very fast. Because High Rocks seem to have stemmed from that. I could be completely wrong there, what I'm saying. I feel they're all somewhat... Because they've made fitness a sport. All they're doing is I'm not saying... I've got to be careful what I say here, but...
All they're doing is training.
It's just training, isn't it?
It's working out, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've turned it into a sport, which I do respect. There's a time element to it, and there's some people who are incredible at it. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
that should be a non-negotiable training.
Yeah, it's when I see the post, like we say, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah.
When I see everyone posting about it, I'm like, I don't want to try it anymore.
An hour and 10 slog, mate. Mine would be probably an hour and fucking 30 minutes at minute with my fitness levels. Just slogging yourself through that.
I might just one of days just try it full whack.
They do it at Gazza's. I think it's like at 7 o'clock they do IROC simulations, but I'm surmising at Warrant there'll be tons of IROCs there.
Yeah, they do it at... they've done it at...
You'll be like the gazelle.
Yeah. I think I would be good at the running side of it.
Are you good at sled pulls and stuff like that? Wall balls?
Wall balls I'm not bad at.
You never used to like them too much.
I didn't like them, no. I just fucking... Do you know I don't like them because you have to focus whilst training, whereas I like to be able to just graft and not have to think about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But wall balls just didn't come natural to me.
The thing for me there is the running. Never like running. So it's like a kilometre, then you do your station, kilometre, do your station, kilometre, do your station, innit, for an hour and fucking 10 minutes. Or Luke's getting like close to under an hour. He's good in, mate.
Is he?
He's good at it. And Ben did two.
Two
fucking IROCs in the same weekend.
Did you really?
It's just fucking, you need to fucking get some new hobbies.
How old is he? Must be like same as you. Bit older.
Older than me. He's
fair play though. If you fucking,
I'm
smashing
sure
that
he's
out,
coming up to 40 or could be.
You've got to respect that, 100%. I mean, it's High Rocks is not. It's not for me. But my workouts are fucking. Do you know what I do now, bro? And I think I've told you about it. I'll just go on TikTok now. Type in chest workout. The top one is always the most popular one, for a reason. I'll click on it, watch it, do it. But what I did yesterday was, this is a bit of a cop-out because I'm bragging about fucking doing a writing content course. But when I took my camera to the gym, I just watched a workout, saw how I'd filmed it, replicated it exactly. Then when it comes, I can distribute it onto TikTok. And when I put it on TikTok, 'cause that's where I found it, I'll do what he did. I'll do a voiceover saying the same sort of stuff as he did, but I'm not going to like use it word for word. I'll say as much knowledge as I've got because I don't want people thinking that I know more than I do.
Yeah.
Then when it comes on Instagram, I'll probably just do some more like candid, slow mode things and then just caption it something about training.
Yeah.
Then I might turn it into a reel so I can use that content on like 4 or 5 different platforms and distribute it in different ways. So going back to content when it comes to me actually doing it, a lot of it will be what I'm writing myself, but one of the big things that Danko bangs on about is finding other people's content that's done well or tweets that's done well and spinning it into your own sort of thing. Just thought I'd just chuck a bit of content ideas in there for you.
Back to that money thing. That's what most people are lost in, the what's it called?
Rat race.
The rat race. They're stuck in that. So you can never become the best version of yourself because you focus on that. There's nothing wrong with that because a lot of people have got responsibilities. But with the internet now, with the access to what you can achieve on there, now you can make money on there, now you can learn on there. There's a way out of it. That's what I'm trying to get across to people. You're not stuck in the same. You don't have to be in the same funk all the time.
No.
Like you can introduce disciplines like you're doing. You could start a new business project. You can think bigger sooner. But most people just don't start.
I know. We asked this question to each other last week, and neither of us really knew the answer. So next week, I'm gonna figure out why people don't do it. So the thing that we're talking about,
it's easier not to.
Yeah,
it's easier not to.
And what people do is, this is what I learned this morning. They label themselves as that person, so they don't like change. Like humans are creatures of habit. They don't really want to change, but you've got to have something in your mind that tells you, no, you fucking deserve better than this. Like, if you zoom out into space and see that you know, there's planets, there's Earth, there's continents on that Earth, there's like countries, cities, towns, streets, houses, humans, fucking organs, atoms. Like, it can just, we are fuck all, mate. We're nothing. We're tiny. Like, just zoom out and just see what you're doing. The people that are wasting their life being a little fucking ant running about for someone else's company, living the life that society's decided for you. I know you might choose what job you want, but really you're not choosing to do what you want to do. You're just choosing that because it's the only fucking option. You're still working for someone else. And people don't realise they can do more than that.
Yeah, I think an easier way for people to understand is that you can pivot.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand? So for me there, like when you mentioned the career or whatever, at the time that might have been what you thought were correct. For me, went from networking to then studying sales and marketing, and then you get involved with that, and then everything's got an expiry date. So you have to be aware of that, of when to pivot. And I think people don't pivot quick enough, or they don't pivot at all.
Yeah.
So that's probably in a nutshell, that's probably where people are at, the pending. But I think to be respectful of those people, the fact of the matter is that they have responsibilities.
They do.
And I think that's why most people can't break out of it, because when can you... We've mentioned this before, but, you know, we're like Reese when he brought it up. Like, most people don't ever get that breathing space because they don't understand how to go out and collect enough money.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make money. You go out and collect it. You have to understand this. So you have to have a service or a product that you can sell, and that's how you become free. That's the only way to do it. You create a product or a service that you're passionate about, that you feel brings value, and you sell it. That's the only thing. Anything you're doing comes back down to that. Every business, every job out there is somewhat doing that, unless you're like it's like a vocation, like a lawyer or a fucking doctor or something like that. But that never intrigued me to want to go down that path.
But thinking like that though, if you like, people have got responsibilities. Let's just pick a random person around here. I'm not going to name it a person, but let's say somebody who's got a full-time job. They work 8 hours a day at a factory, 5 days a week. Sometimes they'll work weekends. They've got a dog, a kid, a missus, and a mortgage to pay for. For them right now, I'm stuck. I've got responsibilities. That's me done. I'm gonna just have to like maybe try and get a pay rise or work some extra days.
Yeah.
But then because they don't understand money either. As soon as they get a bit more money than what they used to, it gets spent on a holiday.
You live to your income.
Exactly. So you reward yourself. So if they do get a pay rise, it's $5,000. They go, oh, we'll book an holiday with that, or we'll buy some more clothes, or they'll do something.
Yeah.
Nobody really. They're not like emotionally aware that they can. If they sacrificed something to save up a little bit more money to pay for a course or to buy themselves a bit more time to be able to like quit work and work on the side hustle or something, there's always a way out of it.
I think the problem with side hustles for most people, because I've been involved with side hustles since I've probably been 19, 20, most people can't sell.
Yeah.
So they'll start a project, which they might be very good at. Could be like, use my missus as an example, good baker. I could help her sell all that, but she hasn't got the nuance to understand scalability there. So it's hard to start a business. Because if you just start a business around here and go the traditional route, rent a unit or do something, trust me on this, 99% of people will fail there because they can't market themselves enough to get started.
Yeah, so then I answer this then. So they can't sell.
Yeah.
So
what you could learn to sell.
And what can they do? They can either save money.
I say this to people. Do you know how many times Amy will message me or one of her friends? They've got this idea. How would you help them? Or this nail person's doing this, but can't. Like, go onto YouTube, right?
Bro.
Go onto YouTube and type in, how do I grow my nail business via social media?
Yeah.
And it will tell you the fucking answer. I get it all the time. I've started having to now, like, when people want me to do some work for them, because I'm time poor, I'll just say, I tell them that.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, if you want to set up a Facebook form or this Facebook ad, Google it. You're aware then of how to do it. But then I ended up just having to put invoices in that are just inflated, and people still say yes, because people just don't want to do that. Whether they're time poor or just can't figure it out themselves, I don't understand that nuance sometimes. Because I've never been like that, me. I've always wanted to understand it myself first and foremost. Maybe some people don't. Maybe when some people get to a higher level, then it makes sense to not waste your time and learning it and learn from someone who's done better. That makes sense to me. But for people just getting started who haven't got the income to get going in the business, then God, it's plentiful out there we can learn from.
It's not just that they can't be asked learning it themselves. It's also sometimes the fact that they don't even have a clue that this stuff exists on the internet. And I'm not joking. Like my mum, she's wanting to get like more in shape, lose weight, not drink as much because I've got a kid on way. So she's like, I want to be a healthy grandma.
Yeah.
So she's like, I said, start doing some yoga. You've got space in your living room. Do some yoga. She went, I don't know how to do yoga. I went, yeah, look, put it on your TV. She's like, well, how? And I'm like, go on YouTube, type in yoga workout for beginners.
You know what I think that is, though? It's the idea, it sounds better or feels better than the execution.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you like
with me, we're running, I'm like, come on, get it. Like, I could just start running now. Forrest Gump style, just fucking go. But you don't, do you?
No.
You're like, I need better footwear.
Yeah.
I ain't got the gear.
Yeah.
I need a fucking heart rate. Mate, all fucking absolute bollocks.
Yeah. I did the walk that I've just done this morning. It's basically over at Motorway Bridge, down at Farm, round Ponty Park, then back that way. And it was like 8 o'clock at night, not last night before. And I thought, because Josh Gudgeon said that when he goes on a run, or Jamie Peacock might have said it as well, all of his ideas come to him. So like, right, I need a bit of fucking inspiration.
It was Jamie that.
Run it. Stuck my headphones on. I can't remember what I were even listening to. And I just did I put my heart rate monitor on as well, as funny as it sounds. Because I wanted to do some Zone 2 training.
Is this all bollocks?
No, bro. Zone 2 training's a
fucking
thing.
all these zoners.
No, Zone 2 training's definitely a thing. And I was just bimbling, mate.
That's a worse cult than fucking...
No, Zone 2, the Zone 2 gang.
Zone is a worse cult than High Rock.
Yeah, but the thing is, I ain't posting about Zone 2 constantly.
Just walking on the tread for 60 minutes. It's not very scientific, that is it?
No. But it actually doesn't make sense, to be honest. I'll give you that, because I did a walk.
No, I get it. Like, if your heart... If you can keep a lower heart rate, yeah, I understand it. But why are we making it so complex? Like, just to be fit, you want to be good in all modes of training.
Yeah.
You want to be able to sprint. You want to be able to be strong. You want to be able to be fit over a long distance. You want to be able to swim.
But
I think everyone's just really, really overcomplicated the game, mate.
Yeah. Long story short, I ran. I couldn't run slow enough to keep my heart rate down into Zone 2. Is what I'm saying. I looked like a weirdo. Or like literally slow motion running, because I can hear it doesn't tell you what heartbeat you're on, but it tells you the difference between you're losing fat or you're getting fitter. So you want to keep it in between that. So I'd like slowly run. It'd say you're improving your fitness, so I know I have to slow down. Then it'd be like, you're burning fat. So oh my god, it was hard work. But from now on, I'm just going to keep up with the long walks, 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm going to walk.
But mate, big commitment.
Big commitment, but also
Did you get that app I told you about?
The Trails one, whatever it is. No, I ain't got it yet.
No, seems nice.
No. Question for you.
Go on.
If you could go back 2 years and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Stick to training.
Stick to training?
Yeah.
As in bodybuilding?
Just train every day.
And what about any business things? Have you learned anything over the last 2 years, business-wise or social media-wise?
Be more religious with well-executed personal development, not bitting and batting. Pick 2 people who I know have done what I want to do, and study those once a week, religiously.
I had a similar...
Also, if we're on that thing, I've stuck on the spirituality path a little bit more.
spirituality is in meditation.
Not meditation, understanding me.
Yeah.
I wish I would have stuck at that more. They're the three things that I would highlight for me there.
Yeah.
Money will come and go. There's always a business to be had. There's always a project to be done. But self-love there is the key, and that comes down to bettering my mind and bettering my body. They're the two things you can control. They're the controllables. And if you do that, you're going to be of value to people, and if you're doing the development, you're going to be a good business head. It feeds that. People I'm around who I try and justify it, like, when you've not put pressure on me, but I can see what you're doing, and you justify it that, well, no, I'm working 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and I've got you're only good in one domain. Then you're only good in one sort of vertical. He talks about it as Andy, and his idea of personal excellence, whatever that might be to you, then to break that down is important. And that's not just being good at business, is it? You don't want to just be remembered for a person who are, and to be good, like, if you're playing it as a game, man, I'm a fucking small fish in a huge pond, so I'm never going to be able to, I'm self-aware enough that I'm never going to be able to compete with the likes of you. Even people around here were big, I just don't think I'm probably going to ever get to that level. I just know my way of thinking, but if you can protect the vessel and you can protect the brain, I wish I would have just stuck that out. That's been the toughest thing to get back consistent with. Just the training, which is weird. I don't know if I did it for so long. Because Steve, when Jamie said that when he stopped playing rugby, he thought he was just going to stop training. And quickly, like, my stepdad just went from professional athlete, stopped. That's when habits creep in then.
And that's when because Jamie mentioned something about identity again now, didn't he? You were like, because you don't identify as a rugby player, or because you still identify as a rugby player. When you quit, it's a big hit. It's like when you see like Ricky Hatton, who still identified as a boxer, he's turned to booze and did what he did.
Yeah.
You're like, once you've finished your whatever it is you're doing, you don't identify yourself as that anymore. You're now your next person, and that's why Jamie now does all his business stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's also very religious with his trainer. I follow him on Instagram. He's out running most mornings.
Yeah. I think that's just
built into
you're just so used to it. Yeah, it's like me now. I've trained since I was 15. I've probably never had longer than like 2 or 3 weeks off, and that's when I've been at sea trying to get back into that routine. But I don't think I'll ever stop training. Do you not think it's weird? I know you listened to a bit of Danko's book. How what's the word? Philosophical he is.
Too much for me, mate.
It's too much for me.
I listened to 2 chapters and didn't really listen to take much away from it.
Yeah, I tried to persevere with him.
Stuff that I don't. He would be very. When I say watch what people do, not always what they say, like, that's going to be a good framework for you, because I feel it suits your way of creating. But I feel his content's tailored to 18 to 25-year-olds who probably haven't really read a book yet or got into any form of personal development from any sort of standard. So it's like, it's good to refresh that. It's introductory knowledge, but I'm more intrigued with him of how he's creating this solo business to that standard. And it'd be interesting to understand who his target audience is, his avatar is that he's trying to find. I feel it will be a young audience. I bet if you looked at his demographics of who are purchasing stuff, the writing cost makes sense for most people, but I bet a lot of his viewership, if you looked at his analytics, but it'd be fairly young.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I was surprised that we're younger than me, to be fair, because of how knowledgeable he is. The reason why he's so spiritual is because, like he said, since being in like college, he's always been a super. In fact, he was way more spiritual back then. He was like, but I've had to like take the foot off the gas because a lot of people see it differently to how it is.
Yeah.
But it's still, I feel like I'm not enjoying his book so much because of how spiritual it is.
Yeah, and you've probably handpicked content that you like from him anyway. It's like you're getting his insights in shorter snippets on his YouTube stuff than versus having to read a full book. A book has to get your attention.
And I just like his style of how he's made content. He's made it exactly the same as how I want to make it.
That's what I thought with more you.
So that's why I
more
copy
with
him.
like that mindset. Watch what he's doing, not what he's saying.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind that. And you can learn from most people like that, why they're doing this, why they're promoting on this platform, why they're doing this. He's the best to watch that is Gary Vaynerchuk, because he's got a huge team behind him.
The only thing about Gary Vee is I can't listen to him.
Yeah, my missus is like that.
Fucking pisses me off.
My missus is like that with his voice. I can look past that.
It's because of how fast and he expects everyone who's listening. I know he explains it in quite a simple form, but he says it's so fast, like it's as if you already know what he's talking about, when most of the time you don't.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't listen, because if he moves forward too fast before I can even understand him.
He's got a piece of content which he calls 4Ds, which I'd actually like to go to, me and you. It's a premium. But what you do there, you sit in a boardroom and business owners go there and they sort of like just jam. But what I like about that, watching that, is you're getting access to the best, one of the best social media guys to grow your business, and you can sit on his meetings.
But don't you like post most of them things anyway?
That's what I'm saying. You can put, yeah, but I'd like to go there and
ask questions.
Yeah, don't forget, this is what we need to do. You need to go see these people in real life.
Well, I've just booked Stephen Bartlett, 29th of March in Manchester. He's doing a talk, so I've just bought a ticket.
No, I mean, get to a level where you're fucking in front of these people. Like I remember always meeting David Immuniti and mentors who I've respected, and I've listened to Grant Cardone speak, but never actually met them. But when you get access to these people and get to sit with them, you're like, whoa. You also realise they're just like you. They're just trying to figure out on a whim. But they can keep the discipline longer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think it's like...
They don't stay in grooves too long. They don't let emotion dictate what they do. Mm-hmm. They just do it. Same with Alex Hormozy, when you listen to him, it's like, my mood's irrelevant. This is what I do. It's getting into that mindset. Because then you'll show up every day, and that's all it is. It's consistency every day, not once a day. The person who shows up in business once a week versus the person who shows up every day, it's a no-brainer to who's going to win. The person who trains every day versus the person who trains once a week, who's going to win? The person who spars once a month versus someone who spars once a week. Like in all sports, if you're disciplined to the craft, and fingers crossed you're passionate about it, you're going to get a better result.
Yeah.
That's where most people fall short. Don't stick at it long enough. They quit before they get the momentum.
Yeah.
And I say this many, many times on the podcast, momentum in any endeavour is the hardest thing to get and the easiest thing to lose. Look at training. When you build a physique, how easy is it to lose the physique? How hard was it to get it? In business, how hard is it to get the client than to retain the client? These are all things I've learned very quickly in business.
I agree. To close out then, what's the plan this week? What are you changing?
I'm focused on the school community. That's launching officially Friday. I have to, how do I explain this? If I'm going to do something, I have to start it before I'm fully prepared of what I want to achieve in its fullness. So I've just launched it. Launches Friday, where people are going to get accepted to the group. People are already starting to join the group, so make sure, I'll put the link somewhere in here, but just make sure you join the community. It's free to join. And that's just going to be more something that I wish I would have access to. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's just Ben don't like me saying this, but a safe space to discuss matters and just try and build some form of community. It's always something that I've wanted to do that. And that's been the focus this week. There's a lot going on at work, and then just get back training.
What sort of stuff, just to go back to that bit, what sort of stuff are you actually planning on putting in the community for people to like see?
The stuff that interests me. So documenting my process and ideas that I feel would be aligned with what I'm doing, which is business mostly. That's one of probably my main passions. And just documenting me trying to get my fitness and lifestyle back in order in terms of the personal development and what I'm listening to and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and just try and build some sort of tribe around that. I'm not too sure where it's going to go, but I've seen what a lot of people are doing with this school, and I feel that's the right platform for me to grow on. I mean, I've tried with Facebook groups, I've tried with email lists. I'm very open-minded to how this could work if I stick at it, and I'm consistent with posting and build a group around that.
When you stick it in, not if you stick it in, my man.
When? What have I got to say?
It's when.
When. No, I will.
Power of the positive mind.
I've got to stick with that. And that's something that my body of work can live forever in there then, and something that people can join and listen to and ask questions and join in and keep it simple.
If we've got this momentum starting now, like we know exactly what we've got to be doing, it'd be stupid for us to just slowly let it drop off. Like I know I'll be sticking with everything I'm doing now. Like
the last thing that I do want to bring up and ask the question here is, do we want to have, moving forward, do we think on this we should have, I think what we should do for next week is have a title before we film the podcast.
Yeah, so
if that makes sense.
100%. So I was trying to look at stuff for this podcast, for topics on that vidIQ, which is like a YouTube specialist SEO sort of thing. So you can sort of figure out what's popular at the moment, what people want to learn about. But it's just hard for me to figure out what sort of titles to search for. So I think if what we do is, if we think hard about topics we can actually talk about and we know about, and then people are going to learn something from, throw them together before we do the podcast, so we can sort of have some sort of structure to it, and then come up with a title from that, and then obviously run it through that.
So we're on Wednesday today. By Friday, have the title, and then we give ourselves enough breathing space to somewhat
think about
map how
stuff.
that conversation needs to go.
And that's purely just so that we can bring as much value to viewers as we possibly can, as well as try and spread the...
I think for people who are listening to this as well, the important matter should be, as the direction leads more into personal development, and there's going to be some fun in there. We'll keep our personalities and character in there, but just try and look at. Don't be overwhelmed that if there's just one insight in the podcast that makes sense, implement it immediately. You don't have to. One thing that I've learned is start where you can start, and that don't try and layer too much in too quick. Build the habit first. Does that make sense? What I'm saying,
100%.
like build the habit in and be consistent with that. That's why I think he had such a result. Did Andy Frisella with the 75 hard, because he's building in self-discipline there. He's building in self-respect that you'll do them for 75 days. It's set out for a way where if you get 25 days in and fail, then you have to start again. It's trying to build that groove. And I think people, and myself included, start with a to-do list or something that is not achievable to do every single day.
Yeah.
And another mindset shift that I want to have, and you won't like this, but I've been thinking about this a lot when I'm high, is, you know, when you write the to-do list, I can't remember who said this. I don't know whether it was someone on the podcast. Don't write trained for 45 minutes or lift weights for 45 minutes or spend 4 hours on business. Write it from a perspective that you get to do that.
Yeah,
You're able to, I don't know if you mentioned
me
that.
Said it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to go and train and exert energy today in the gym and speak about it from a positive standpoint. That might sound a bit out there, but going into that mindset, like, oh, fuck, I've got to train today. No, I get to train today. Mm-hmm. I get to make content today. I get to help people in business today. I get to show up to my work in a better mindset and be the person. He talks about that, Andy, like, you know, even if you're in fucking McDonald's or stacking shelves or whatever you're doing right now, be the best at it. Mm-hmm. Having those standards for yourself will never be a negative. And I've got to get back to that. Mm. But that's where I get, you know, when you mentioned there the you can't stand being in the house. I think you like the idea, very much like me, of getting to start again.
Yeah.
And getting a clean slate.
100%.
But everyone should understand that you get a clean slate every day. Don't let yesterday's losses or yesterday's mindset dictate how you feel today. That's what I want to fall out with. Mm-hmm. Because I either live way too much in the future, so you're just thinking, fuck, I've got to do all this, and how long is this going to last? I'm going to have to do this forever. Or you live on past failures. Yeah, for sure. You're never present. And how long we've been talking? So I don't make it go too long.
Hour 15.
So the idea of, like, when they say human, what's the next word to it? Usually a human what?
Being.
Yeah, not a human doer.
And another good
not
thing.
Not a human doer. Like, that's a powerful thing to understand. Like, be in the moment with the tasks and enjoy them. You know, like you mentioned with the running there and whatever it might be, just try and enjoy it. There's enough negativity out there, and there's enough people who are going to try and pull you down. You be the positive sort. That's what I want to start getting to the mindset of being the not a North Star, because that's like a fucking, like, trying to sound like you're trying to be a rock star, but just me having higher standards for myself, and that should then rub off on your missus and rub off on your mum and your family and people around you. People will see that, mm-hmm. and they know if you're about it or not. Mm. I believe that.
100%. And to add on to the being present thing, what you just said then about the human being, I saw a quote that said, like, if you're thinking about the past, that's things that have happened, or you're thinking about the future, which hasn't even happened yet, they're all imagination. So you're spending all your time just imagining things, whether it's good or bad. Like, instead of being, just focus on you doing what you're doing right now. So you're not imagining it, you're actually living in the moment. And I only read that about 2 or 3 days ago. And since then, I've been way more present, like with Emily. Like, even just having a phone call. If I'm working, I'd normally be like, yeah, like, what's going on? Or I'd still be thinking about other stuff whilst I'm facing her on FaceTime. Whereas now I'm trying to cut all that off.
I felt lost with the missus a little bit. Just disconnected a tad.
Yeah.
Just a lot of projects in your mind. It's hard to then shut off on me a little bit. Whereas I'm going to go back to probably bookmarking that day and having a bit of a shut off. But I can have a project looming over me. So I went to film with Zach yesterday. I want it done within a couple of days to,
That's
a,
good,
to,
though.
to a standard.
That's
I
good,
don't
though.
want to just be sat on a project and then I know I've got this to edit. And I want to be like, right, no.
Yeah, because you do forget about it and you do have to do it, so you have to backdate it. Then it just, again, just causes a bit of disruption in your mind. But I think also we should talk about this real quick and maybe even put it at the front of this pod so people are aware. People that have subscribed to us for a while, just so they do know where his content is going to be going. I think we should make it clear to them that this is the kind of path we're going to go down. It's going to be like, we've been bringing them value as in entertainment. We've got some good guests on. We've talked about some cool stuff. We've had professionals on, fighters, girls, OnlyFans people, whatever. We've brought them some entertainment. But now we've even talked about it a little bit in some of the podcasts. We need to start bringing people value. Like sometimes it's confusing. Sometimes we'll film a podcast with somebody and I'll go away thinking...
Well, do you leave, sorry to interrupt, do you leave from this conversation feeling better?
100%.
That's the way to do it.
And I want the people who are watching it to feel better, because as bad as it sounds, I felt like we were making content that it's not wasting people's time if they're going to be entertained, but I feel like they're not getting any value out of it. They're going to sit there for an hour and a half and they're not going to be any better in themselves, mind or body, from watching how much money an OnlyFans girl makes. But if we can create a podcast where people are going to come away from it, like you said, with a golden nugget they can start working on, or the realisation that they can get out of that job that they're stuck in, that's the content that we should be making.
Yeah, I want
from
you
now
to
on.
understand that. There's people out there, right? You've got a well-organised life. There's a lot of structure there, got money behind you, X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of variables going in your favour right now. Some people out there would just feel good from going on a walk a day. Okay? Don't have to fucking start a fucking business or do anything crazy. Just set a commitment, 30-minute walk every day, non-negotiable. Then layer in the habits. As you what's the groove called there? As your disciplined groove develops, you layer more in.
Yeah.
Don't try and be the person like me. You know, when the New Year's, I've done this many times, the New Year's resolution come and you try and overhaul your full life.
Yeah.
Start where you can start, then layer it in. I think that's a massive takeaway for anyone in this. Just write down a couple of things that you can do where you are now and implement it. No one's going to feel bad from going on a walk. You might get that spark, you might get that idea.
That's all you need. But yeah, we're going to be bringing some quality on. Don't get me wrong, we're still going to be getting some guests on. But
but I think if guests understand that this is the course of the show, and you can get anyone like who even some of his previous guests who come on, it's personal development. We're not here to talk about X, Y, and Z. We're here to talk about betterment and improvement. And because if you can do that, society improves. Like now more than ever, year at general election, I listen to trying to have a bit of an understanding of the news and what's going on, but control what you can control. Government ain't going to come save you. No one's going to come save you. You're in control of that. And that's what I have to understand, and that's what people should want to understand. Don't look to outside factors to influence how you show up, and go from there. Control the controllable is the only thing you can do. And I want to see some more documentation from your strict regime.
Yeah. And also another tip is like see what everyone else is doing. This is one I learned today. Watch what everybody else is doing and try and do it different. Try and do opposite.
Yeah. You can learn from most people from what not to do.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. Like, what's he doing that for? I don't want to be like that. Like, people talk about him this way. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah, some good advice.
Happy boys.
Happy, mate. Nice chatting to you.
Theo weren't too bad.
Theo behaved himself.
Theo was all right. Cool boy, Dave.